This podcast is brought to you by the Podtower, hosted by the Watchtower database. Visit youtube.com/thepodtower for informative, hilarious DC animation-themed podcasts and live streams every week. And check out the Watchtower database for DCAU video essays, timelines, fan theories, and more. And please, enjoy the show.
You know what's been around a while, and like
It's
I'm
been
really
around a
kinda
while.
upset about this.
What?
Like have you realized that you haven't washed my rice cooker even once?
I haven't washed your rice cooker?
Yeah, and it's just sitting there on the counter being abused.
I should have done that, huh?
When are you gonna get on that, man?
I don't know. I guess next time I'm there. In the same location.
I don't want to have to wait that long to cook rice again.
Well, you're going to have to, because only I can clean it for some reason, as we've established just now.
This is really inconvenient for me.
I know. I do hope that I can come to you soon, though, because I have Ted's Kevin Altieri signed thing for you. I have.
Thanks again, Ted. I still don't have it because Jamie hasn't come here to wash my rice cooker.
Yeah, I know. We have our rice cooker cleaning weekends that we just also sometimes do podcasts on. But I also have, or I will have, another very fun gift for you. But I don't want to reveal what it is to you or to the listener until I'm there with it and it's happening, as is the traditional thing for me to do.
Okay.
You know?
Is this a Superman gift?
Forget I said anything. It's actually not Superman specific. It's podcast specific.
Oh. What?
I don't know. Hi, welcome back to Jump on the Bat-Wagon. Brian, welcome.
And I'm Brian.
Oh, we did it early this time. I guess we're done. We quit doing it now. We stop.
Is that just the end of the podcast?
You keep doing the intro.
No.
I'm James. I'm James. I'm from the Watchtower database. That's Brian. I'm showing him the entire DC animated universe for the first time in the controversial airdate order. So he may view these shows the way human beings experience them in the far gone days of the 1900s. We recommend you watch. I don't know. I was trying something. Recommend you watch today's DCAU episode. I was trying that sound for the first time. It's never been used before, they said. What other sounds do I have programmed in here that are... No, they're all songs now. Hey Arnold, Mail, Balderarchy, Not How That Works, Hydra, Intro, Synyap. There's only one button. It's the applause button that's not a song now.
I think you need to change that because things like... that's not how that works. I think it's going to be used a lot less frequently than your bwap, bwap, bwap.
That's not there anymore. The bwops.
That's what I'm saying.
There.
You can switch them.
Oh, I see. Oh, that will be used more. I understand. Or I could do the press the music notes, press the arrow over. Now it's the second set where I can go like, where is it? Oh my God. There it is. See, it takes so long. Anyway.
That's too long.
This is episode 92. Yes, I've jumped on the Bat-Wagon. At the time of this recording, Superman the Animated Series is streaming on
6:16 p.m.
Thank you. Streaming on 6:16 p.m. Max and available on DVD and Blu-ray. Those are Brian's dogs. Today we are watching Stolen Memories. I believe your guess was this was Dumbledore using the pin sieve on Superman or something of that nature. He steals he's This is the Superman the Animated Series version of the forgotten Superman stuck at a labor camp and doesn't remember who he is.
Something like that.
Like, dude, you're flying. Your heat is coming out of your eyeballs. Lasers. Sir, you are sitting there doing Superman's bifocal spectacular. I think you might be Superman.
That really would have changed the episode, The Forgotten. If he's just like sitting in like a hot metal box and he like heat visions himself out and he's like, oh, that's handy.
I guess if I just look hard enough, it goes on fire. Neat. I'm just a regular guy. And then nobody recognized him as Clark Kent either. There was a really good, there's this animated movie that just came out that's a Scooby-Doo crossover with Crypto the Super Dog, which is Superman's comic book dog. And they're at the Daily Planet, and Velma does the thing where she loses her glasses, and Lois Lane doesn't know who she is anymore. And it's the best combo of those jokes ever. It's so good.
Wow, that's incredible.
I
love that.
Well written, yeah. Anyway, Stolen Memories originally aired Saturday, November 2nd, 1996 at 9 a.m. on Kids WB. We skipped 3 weeks. Fox. We skipped 3 Foxes to get here. Skipped on top of them like they were made of shoes.
Wow.
This is what you come here for. Is me not cleaning Brian's rice cooker.
I just want some fucking rice.
This aired number 8, but produced number 9. Oh no. That's not the same number.
Everything. We would have been happy about that in Batman days, but now I'm just
so
kind of
close, but it's so far. Now that we've tasted same number victory, it doesn't quite work out anymore.
It's not the same.
No. This was written by Rich Fogel. This is his DCAU writing credit debut. He previously wrote 2 episodes of Super Friends, 23 episodes of The Smurfs, 4 episodes of Muppet Babies, 12 episodes of Adventures of the Gummy Bears, 2 episodes of Goof Troop, 2 episodes of Captain Planet and the Planeteers, and 3 episodes of Pinky and the Brain.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, and some other stuff that I didn't care as much about. He's gone on to write many more DCAU episodes, as well as episodes of Crypto the Superdog, Ben 10, the 2008 Transformers animated series, Ultimate Spider-Man Young Justice, and The Octonauts for Disney Junior, which he recommended to me as the father of a baby boy when we interviewed him a couple years ago, and I have yet to ever put it on my TV. I'm sorry, Rich Fogel.
That's why you guys aren't friends.
I know. We're best friends. He was in the Batman and Harley Quinn Will It Canon for a second.
Oh, was he?
And looking at his computer. What's on my computer at this time?
Oh, okay. Talking to Dan Reba, or is he just...
No, that's a different guy. That's John Trumbull. John Trumbull was featured in the newest Watchtower database video about a thing that Brian can't see. Go watch it, everyone else. And then go clean Brian's rice cooker as a thank you, as an I'm sorry. Maybe you should leave it for me to clean. This was directed by Kurt Gaeta, who previously directed The Last Son of Krypton Part 2. And when I went to check that was the right one, I also saw, which I didn't mention before, he was a storyboard artist on BTAS for Christmas with the Joker, The Last Laugh, It's Never Too Late, Joker's Favor, Feet of Clay, and Heart of Ice.
Every single one of my favorite episodes.
Yes, 3 of your favorite episodes and 3 other ones. Music is by Michael McQuistion, previously composed 11 episodes of BTAS, as well as Last Son of Krypton Part 2 and Feeding Time. And animation by Coco/Dong Yang, previously animated 43 episodes of BTAS, which is about half of BTAS, and The Last Son of Krypton and Feeding Time, same thing.
I didn't realize they did so many episodes.
I didn't think, I think they were just spread out so much that we didn't oh man, they had a lot near the end and
they're really heavy weighted at the end.
Yeah. Give them the rest, essentially. Except for one, what was Bullet for Bullock was someone weird that we were like, oh no, but then it was fine. I can't remember. Oh, it was the Sewer King people. I've already had my memories stolen.
Wow. Wait. No, we cannot move on until we get this. Okay, let's just start naming. We had Sunrise, another one. La Pista Azul was the worst.
It wasn't ACOM. ACOM was been done for a long time.
ACOM had been off the table.
It was. What? Damn it, man. Bullet.
Oh, come on.
Or Bullock? I'm not going to just remember it.
I want you to remember it.
It was...
I want you to... I want you to just remember it.
Oh, I just remembered. It's Studio Junio.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Of course. James, insert this somewhere in the middle of all of that. What are you drinking, Brian?
Today's clear liquid is dihydrogen monoxide.
Oh, man, that's what I've got, too.
Hell yeah.
Because I'm very dehydrated today.
I'm not enough, and that's what I am.
You know that makes sense. We should do push-ups. It's from Vitz, and he didn't say anything. He just beat Vitz. But it's one. Yeah. It's one coffee, so it's 5. Let's do a 5
okay.
again.
We can do 5s.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Let's do 5s.
I'm gonna do them faster than Brian. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 5. I beat Brian. I beat Brian. 5. I beat them faster than Brian.
I was yelling.
I was yelling.
Oh, good.
All right, let's go watch Stolen Memories.
We are both orphans of the same planet. While you've been living here on Earth, I have roamed the universe. These orbs contain all the knowledge I've collected. Each represents all the recorded information from a single planet.
Incredible. And Krypton?
All that was Krypton is contained within this orb. Go ahead, touch your legacy.
Kal-El, Father.
Enough.
You were so mad.
Yeah.
Polar bear. I knew this place had potential or whatever.
I just don't, I'm so upset by that last scene.
Yeah.
Everything else is fine, but that last scene.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
You want to tell me what happens in Stolen Memories?
Yes.
If you're wondering,
But I won't.
what you just watched.
'Cause this is going.
Take
Yes.
a listen to the synopsis.
Oh.
The short and summary, which is sometimes kind of long.
Okay.
Bing.
Now you can do it.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
So we open in the Batman the Animated Series episode, The Forgotten.
You're like, it is the Forgotten because there's canyons all the way down, you know?
And and I kind of accidentally guessed that Brainiac was
Brainiac.
Brainiac.
Yeah.
I said that into my brain for my Brainiac for a second. Just said that wasn't Brainiac, and then it completely stopped. I was like, wait, who was that?
You correctly guessed that Brainiac was Brainiac, yes.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. I
What
guess it was
made
the
you
whole
think
3.
it was at the start? Was it because of that?
It was just like the dot thing. I'm
Yeah,
like, oh, that's
yeah.
kind of like what Brainiac had going, and then it was.
Yeah, you were like
end.
off put by the fact that you correctly. Oh, I did it right? Well, that's not funny. Like,
Trying to make a joke or something,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Brainiac comes to Earth and he's like, Lex Luthor, what if we were butt buddies?
Uh-huh.
And Lex Luthor's like, I'll do anything
I would
for
love that.
money. And Superman's all like, hey, what are you doing? And Lex Luthor's like, hey, you should go talk to Brainiac and go fight his robots. And Superman's like, well, something about that doesn't sound trustworthy, but okay. And then he goes and he fights some robots. And Brainiac's like, just testing. By the way, here's a big circle and it's got your family in it. And he touches the big circle.
Touch your legacy. He says. Touch my balls, Superman.
I've got a whole bunch of them. Would you like to place your hands
You
upon
will
my
see
balls?
God when you touch my balls. And then he
But
did.
instead of God, he sees
he
his Superman
sees his dad.
parents, which is really interesting. I might have a field day with that one. But yeah, it turns out Brainiac's got a whole bunch of balls. And they're basically, I'm gonna make some spoilers happen here. They're like the living history of planets that Brainiac destroyed.
Yeah.
Are we surprised? Nah.
No.
So we fast forward to the end of the episode, and Superman's like fighting Brainiac, and you kind of losing, and Lex Luthor's like trying to fire missiles, and oh, by the way, at the beginning of the episode, didn't say anything about how Brainiac showed up, but I don't know. There was some wind and a trash tornado.
Yes.
So
And
back
guys standing in a truck.
yeah. That's my favorite
20
Keen
foot
effect.
wide truck with 16 guys just standing in it. Pulls up and halts, and the door flings open in 2 frames, and they're all just standing there.
They're just perfectly standing like I've got the world's best balance
They were
ever.
surfing USA, and they're all the way over.
Imagine if that was like actual real physics, and they open the door and there's just a pile of people like trying and
Just
clamoring to
tumbling.
get up.
Oh God! Yeah, they'll have like vertigo, and they're all freaking out. Yeah,
What happened to seats and seat belts?
they're all throwing up, and they're all really mad. LexCorp couldn't pay for seats. Sorry.
Okay, where was I?
Yeah.
Lex Luthor is like throwing missiles at the spaceship that Brainiac's in, and
Just tossing them.
Superman grabs his family planet circle, and I mean, I guess it's a sphere. It's multidimensional.
I mean,
more
it's
than
a
one.
cartoon. It's a circle.
It's a circle. Okay, so he grabs his whole family planet circle, and he's like, "I'm out of here." And then the spaceship slowly crashes, and we see some light and a mushroom cloud, and we're like, "Well, Brainiac is definitely never gonna come back
Yeah, he's
after
so
that
dead.
for
He's
sure."
all dead. Yeah.
And then Superman goes to the Arctic and finds a stalagmite that's just like precariously balanced next to an above.
Is that the correct
ground?
usage of? Is it might, not tight?
Yes.
The tights
The one
are
that
the
comes
top.
up from the ground. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, you're right. I
I
think that's
know.
how I started remember. I some video that we did where I had to say one of these, and I was like, "Tight is top." Got it. And but I forgot already. Anyway,
Whatever works
You know,
for you.
tight-
I
top is
learned
tight.
I learned
Yeah.
because stalactites hold on tight because they're hanging from the
oh
ceiling.
man.
There you
Anyway,
go. So Superman finds himself like in the Arctic somewhere, and there's like an ice cave kind of thing with an active waterfall and a stalagmite, and right next to the waterfall, and a polar bear. Just saying, and he's
Yeah.
like, "This is a safe place to keep all of my planet's history."
in a they mentioned global warming in this episode, so he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, the melting ice caps. What a perfect place for me to put this." Yeah.
Why? He's like, in the beginning of this episode, we see he's like flying spaceships and whatever. Like, he could work
Yeah.
with NASA and be like, "This is the most important thing
Yeah.
on this planet. Can we build like a safe out of aluminum? Even like, can we build a wooden or even cardboard box? Like, I need something that's not going to disintegrate in the next hour."
Let's come back to this in a second. Are you done talking about what happens in the episode?
The end.
Yeah, okay. He flies at the camera and goes bye-bye. Oh, this is the official synopsis. It is 2 sentences. Brainiac. Once Krypton's all-knowing planetary computer comes to Earth as part of his information-gathering trek across the galaxy. Like a Star Trek, you might say. But as Superman discovers, Brainiac's intent after gathering the world's knowledge is to destroy the Earth. Wow.
And every other planet.
And every and keep going, yeah. Okay, let me get a couple thoughts in on the ice cap thingy.
Oh,
So,
yeah, go for it.
Are you familiar with the Fortress of Solitude in Superman lore?
That sounds familiar.
That's what this is. This is the starting
An ice
of it.
cave?
Yeah,
a melting ice cave with a polar bear in it?
Typically, it's this. This is why it doesn't work super well for me in this episode, at least, is that it is supposed to be this place where Superman, he's like, I'm having a rough time. Like,
Oh, is it like a crystal palace kind of thing?
Usually it's like built of Kryptonian crystals or whatever. Yeah.
I think I remember this from the Christopher
Yes.
Reeves Superman.
In that, he's like a teenager and he's all, my dad's dead and I hate everything and life sucks. And yeah, I'm going to fly to the Antarctic and just be there. And then there's like a crystal of some kind from Krypton that he throws into the ice and it builds this big old fortress thing. And he can be like, I can come here whenever I want to just be by myself. Fortress of Solitude. And then in this, he's like, I'm going to put the ball with the polar bear.
Yeah.
And now it's the Fortress of Solitude. I don't know. It's very strange because it'll come back and, whatever.
It's interesting that Superman had to build himself a wank shack in the Arctic, but I guess it works. He's like, I need all the privacy.
Man, Lois bent over while she was doing a basketball paper today to pick up the paper. I just gotta go to the Fortress of Solitude real quick. Hang on a second. God, I don't know. Yeah, I think it works. It has better purposes later, but for this especially, it's just a very random thing. Especially because he's like, so far we've been following not like day to day, but it's all been sort of back-to-back events of things happening. And Superman's like, I thought this place had promise. And they're like, what are you
never
talking
seen this
about?
before.
Yeah, we've never been here before. Yeah, I don't know. It's very weird. I don't get it.
I thought the Arctic had some use. Hold on to this, polar bear. I'll be back when I need to beat off.
He just puts it in the polar bear's mouth. Like, keep this safe, polar bear. Okay. Also, like, right after that, he flies out from under the water as if he was, like, in some underground cavern or something. And the polar bear...
How did the bear get there?
Who knows? I guess it could
God.
swim under. I don't know.
I do love the idea of him like going over and like wrenching open the polar bear's mouth, and shoving the spear in it, and then the polar bear just like hallucinating his whole planet's history.
Yeah, I saw your dad, dude. He was not okay. Everyone was burning, and
everybody died. Super Kal-El, everybody died.
I learned how to
polar
speak.
Bear. I learned so much, and it hurts. Everything hurts.
Like,
why is the Arctic melting?
You can see his brain like pumping in his skull. And Superman just comes back the next day, and these are the results. Yeah.
Comes back the next day, and he's just like, his brain is like 8 times larger than it should be, and the bear's just screaming.
Yeah. Oh God, what happened? Also, just. Even if he left it where he did leave it, there's no telling that the polar bear wouldn't just go over there and eat it anyway. And then he comes back and just, you kept the ball safe, right? What was I supposed to do again? Yeah.
Yeah, what's it made out of? Is it waterproof? Like, what did he do? Why?
It's a weird last 30 seconds of the episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's all we've talked about so far.
Well, viewer, thank you for tuning into this cartoon. This is a thing that we should all know about, I guess. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Yeah, it's the Fortress of Solitude. The rest of the episode was just fine. It had some pretty quality moments, and then some other moments that were just like, all right, get to the next thing, please. I don't care about this. I don't know if you felt that way or if you liked it more than I did, but
I think for me, it was for the weight of like Brainiac coming back and being like, haha, I like blew up your planet and you're about to find out about it. It was kind of boring.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, Brady, he knows everything. He's going to, oh no, Lex Luthor's doing the Jeffrey Bezos thing. Like, what's going to happen? The end.
I can't remember if it was Dan or someone else that I was just talking to recently about it, but there's some point where they realize like because they're trying to do like, oh, Batman was at nighttime all the time, and so Superman's got to be like this hopeful, cool, daytime big like contrast to Batman. And it's got to be daytime all the time, and then eventually they realize, look, that doesn't always work. Like you got to have. Yeah, like, you know, it's more cool or dramatic or whatever when it's nighttime, if you need it to be or whatever. And I feel like that would have, like the opening of the episode, it's dusk or whatever, and they're on the cliffs and there's a windstorm and lightning and all this stuff, and it's like, ooh, spooky, what's happening? And the rest of the episode is just broad daylight, brightest, cheeriest looking thing, and Brainiac's like, I killed everybody, I'm gonna kill everybody again, and then you're just like, it doesn't feel very scary. I don't know. I agree with you.
Yeah, I respect the stylization and like the color palette and everything of Superman, but I'm having a hard time connecting to it. Even like, it was cool that he had that moment like, oh, by the way, just like randomly somehow later dreaming the history of his planet dying. That was interesting.
I wish they would have explained that better. I take that as Brainiac not realizing that like integrating with the ball would be like it would like he would absorb some shit and then later think about, like, be able to access that in his subconscious or something. And then I thought there was going to be some line where he's like, I figured out your shit. And Brainiac would be like, how? And he's like, I don't know. Like, they talk, but they don't ever talk about it. They just, like, Superman has a nightmare about the exact correct events of Krypton exploding. And he just later has a throwaway to Lex Luthor in the elevator about, I saw some stuff. I saw shit in my dreams. Believe me.
Hey, Lexi Bezos, I had this dream, and I think Earth is probably going to blow up. I don't know, but you should talk now.
It also didn't, like, set him off at all that Brainiac is, like, testing him with his triangle robots for no reason. Like, oh, you're stronger than Luthor said you were. Why did you need to know that? Other than if you're a bad guy. So. Especially
to the point where Lex is like, oh, well, maybe Superman should go talk to everybody. What do you think about that? It's like, well, obviously, like, this is Superman's currently least trusted person.
Yeah.
You know, and him being like, well, maybe you should send Superman up on the spaceship. I don't know. Like, don't trust that. And then the war robots come out and like, don't trust that. And then he's like, come grab my balls.
Yeah. Listen, kids, if someone, at the very least, if they say grab my balls, don't trust them. But if they also
Please
throw robots
run
at you and but yeah, I mean, like, whenever Brainiac beams up Luthor to probe him or whatever he does up there that we don't get to see, you would think that they would, when he's like, oh, we talked about you, I told him all about Superman. What is Luthor going to tell Brainiac other than, like, hey, you're like, you got a bunch of cool shit in here. I got this guy Superman down there. Can we fuck him up, please? Like, he's not going to be, like, benevolent about it. So yeah, there should be no reason to trust anything, but he just does anyway.
Superman.
Well, that was the thing you kept doing, is like, Superman would have this triumphant theme song related movement that he, like, action he would do, and you would just be like, yeah, Superman, go. Like, all right. Like, you're so unimpressed and unenthused. Is that a thing that's kind of happening to you so far with the show in general? Is like, I don't care when Superman does the cool thing because it's not interesting, because he just is tough and easily doing things.
I think that's kind of my hardest issue connecting to it, is that, like, there's no real weight or gravity, because, like, a couple episodes we see Superman getting shocked and he's all like, oh no, and then this episode we see him getting shocked and he's like, is that the best you got? And then a bunch of, like, robots, like, have a party around him and shoot some interesting
they
white,
shoot their dick guns at him.
They shoot their dick guns, which they splash some, I guess, white. It looks kind of fluidy, but maybe it's just light, and they
just
squirt it all over his
white
face.
out of their dick guns. Yeah, I get you. I get you.
Anyway, it's just hard to know. Like Batman, something happens, and you're probably gonna be like, oh fuck, that's bad. That looks like it hurts. And Superman, it's like, well, I don't know. Is that going to kill him? Is that not going to do anything?
It's hard
and
to tell.
even at the end of this one, friggin' Brainiac's like, haha, I've got yellow light. I'm going to hit you with it.
What was that? He's like,
I don't know.
have a microwave hand also. It's not even making much sound. It's just kind of, and so, oh God, nah, it's so bright. Like,
Superman's reacting as if it's kryptonite, and that goes on for like a minute, and we're like, oh no, maybe he's got something that's really going to hurt. And then he turns around, and he's like, nope, I'm just gonna beat you up now. I'm just gonna stand up from this crouched over position, and I'm gonna punch through your chest, and it's gonna be the end of you.
I think he went like, oh, or something when he punched his chest, like, you know what to expect. Yeah,
it's just
when you can't, like, connect on a real world level, you don't know what's gonna actually hurt him, he's gonna be fine with.
But that's the thing, is there's just such inconsistencies.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think my biggest problem with this episode is that we, the audience, already know that Brainiac is big bad guy. Yeah. And the whole, like, plot is Superman like, huh? What? No? He's a bad person? Oh, like, there is that really cool shot that you pointed out. There's like that a 360 camera orbit.
It was excellent.
Yeah, of him, like, just when he's the montage of him discovering, oh no, the lizard people are being crushed, and this man and his child are dead, and all this stuff. That is a pretty I don't know, wrenching scene compared to the rest of the episode. But other than that, it's like, yeah, I know he's a bad guy. I've been aware since 5 minutes into the first episode or whatever. It's not a very big, like, it's not a revelation to anyone but Superman. And even then he should have known better. So I don't know.
Yeah. At several points.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say, like, it wasn't a bad episode. And I don't want to, like,
no,
like, keep, like, I mean, it's kind of fun to rip it apart, but like,
yeah.
I don't want to like upset anybody who really likes this episode. It was just, it was a well-produced episode.
Yeah.
It looked good.
I did. Okay. Positive. Hey, look, something I did like a lot was the sounds that the balls make when they're just floating there. Like whenever they're in the ballroom, there's no
just call it
music.
the ball pit, please.
The ball pit. Whenever, thank you. Yes, Brainiac's ball pit. When
I would love it if that was the name of the episode.
I'm
just
sure
putting my vote out there.
When they're in whenever they're in Brainiac's ball pit, there's no music, and but the sounds that they're making are like usually when there's some sort of energy or shock, electricity sound or something. It's just like a stock sound effect you've heard 1,000 other places, or like that penguin laser helicopter doing the like photon torpedo sound. But this whatever sound they're making is very eerie, and it's almost like screaming. Like it's almost like this distant screaming that makes me like, I wonder if that was a purposeful sound design choice of, all the planets dying and that kind of thing. If it wasn't, it's a cool coincidence. But I was like, every time that it'd get really quiet and that's all you could hear, I'd be like, ooh, I like this.
That makes me feel like I should maybe not cast this and watch it on my TV, but maybe I should watch it with headphones on because I couldn't hear that.
Oh, yeah. You missed the screams.
I missed
hearing everyone dying. Oh, you better listen.
Damn it. That's my favorite part.
It's an unfortunate side effect of still being this early on in like everything is cell animated. Everything, there's no like, not a lot of digital effects. When they're very subtle or infrequent or whatever. But that there's like sequences like all of the planets dying, or the ball pit, I think could have been enhanced by like digital effects and that kind of stuff. Like, or if it had been, at least they were able to After Effects it a bit at all, because they were just like, I don't know, Brainiac shoots a big rectangle of light out of his ship and the planet explodes. Like there's not a lot of detail to that, and I'm sure it's just kind of also like a budget thing or whatever of not being able to, not animating more detail of each, and you don't need to see it, you get what's going on. But
yeah, that's fair. For me, it was more the storytelling. Like, and I get that they were having to tell a story, and the fact of like all these worlds dying wasn't the main part of the story. Because again, for us, like we already know he's that bad. We just need Superman to know that he's that bad. But it was sort of anticlimactic for as pivotal, because it was just like Superman watches this happen like 3 or 4 times in the ball pit. And then he like goes to Brainiac. He's like, "Oh, you blew up those planets, didn't you?" It's like, you fucking seen it, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
I think you're right about the writing, and I don't think that it's like necessarily the fault of any Rich Fogel that wrote this, but like just the material that you're given is like, hey, the audience already knows he's the bad guy. You got to make this dramatic. I don't know what else. I don't know what I would have done differently for Brainiac appearing in the first place. Like, there's a lot of good stuff going on, but it's just a little bit dry. And also, completely unrelated, Luthor says that, there's blah, blah, blah megaton warheads in these things, enough to destroy the entire county. And then Brainiac goes like zap and blows up like 6 of them, and they just go in the air.
Oh yeah.
And we had that in London episode, Red Claw London, where it's just like, it's going to explode the whole city, but not really. It's just one basement sized explosion.
Yeah. Whatever his whole thing about like exploding, all of the county or whatever he said.
Yeah.
He said it better like 12 seconds ago. My brain's already blocked that out. But that like 4 of the missiles hit, and Luthor's like, hell yeah, we did it, like America. But same thing. It's just kind of like, it does some like some like pretty heavy cosmetic damage to this spaceship, but like
Yeah.
it doesn't blow up the whole fucking county. It doesn't
Well, it's
do
also
anything.
Similar to the other animation stuff I was talking about, is like maybe that's a weakness of it being like a painting the whole time, is I can't really tell the scale of the thing. Like maybe it is like a county-sized spaceship or something, but it's just impossible to tell, and those explosions really are enormous, but I don't know.
Judging by my I was kind of doing some comparative stuff for the scale because I struggle with that as well. Like when Superman's standing on that giant dick in the middle of the desert.
Yes.
The size comparison would be like 2 buses. But also, like, Superman, like, I think they messed up Superman's scale on that one.
I think he was a little too big, yeah.
But, I don't know, even, like, Luthor going up into the spaceship, and it just...
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe it's the size of a grocery store, but I don't think it's, like, county size.
Yeah, that's a good comparison, probably. I guess.
Yeah. An American grocery store, let me clarify.
Yeah. Yeah, like, the animation wasn't bad, but it was just a little bit bland, I guess. There was nothing super interesting happening.
Super interesting.
Except the 360 shot. Let me tell you the cast of this episode. It's Tim Daly as Superman / Hey, this is Everybody is Returning. Tim Daly as Superman / Clark Kent. Dana Delaney as Lois Lane. Clancy Brown as Lex Luthor. Christopher McDonald as Jor-El. David Kaufman as Jimmy Olsen. Lauren Tom as Angela Chen. Corey Burton as Brainiac. Victor Brandt as Professor Hamilton. And then we got Townsend Coleman as Programmer. Probably a guy going, there's this code in here. Don't worry about it, though, I guess. And then the music goes, and
that's my favorite part.
Polar bear. He was a character named Chick in It's Never Too Late. No memory at all of who that is.
Chick.
Love it. Let me tell you some trivs. I wrote a couple of things down when we were watching because I forgot to include them. Whenever Brainiac's down there and he's like, "Are you Lex Luthor? It's nice to meet you," at the start. And then Luthor's like, "Yes, should we kiss?" And then Brainiac like smiles and he just goes and like teleport disappears. There's like one frame of Krypton exploding when he does that. And
what?
It's like this really cool, it's this really cool like subliminal thing when that happens. Yeah. So that was cool. Also, Brainiac's down talking to Superman in the ship, and this was a bad animation thing. Was he's in his like hover chair, and instead of it just being like one frame of the hover chair that like slides across the screen, it's like every frame is reanimated, so the whole thing is just like shaking and vibrating as it's moving downward, and it looked really not very good. But there's a close up of him where you can see. Because there's like a headpiece in the chair where like a thing comes out around like in front of his neck, sort of like holding his head in place. Yeah. And there's a close up of his face where they like didn't put the chair behind him, so part of his neck is just gone. And I didn't notice that till we watched it this time.
I didn't notice that. I did notice the only animation error that I did notice was Superman uses his heat vision just once to like when he's fighting the robots. And he's like cutting one of the robots up like vertically, cutting it in half. Yeah. And the cut line is already there. Like, if you look at it, you can see the eye lasers and they're just following this line.
The line,
you expect to see one of those like cut here things that you'd get on some packaging or something. The little scissors.
It's little dashed lines with a picture of scissors next to them.
Yeah.
And he's like, whoop, right there. That's a good spot. Yeah.
It's like,
I shouldn't have put that on the robots. That was my mistake. This episode marks the debut of the Fortress of Solitude in the DC animated universe. Talked about that already.
What a debut.
When Superman punches Brainiac's beams, this is when he's like punching the lights.
Oh, yeah. What the fuck was that?
It's an homage to the 1940s Max Fleischer Superman short, The Mad Scientist, where he punched the Mad Scientist beams in a very similar way. So you can't be mad at it, Brian, because it's a reference.
Oh, it's canon. Yeah, okay.
It's canon.
So Superman now has beam punch as
I was going to say I think we'll touch on that in a second. Okay. The episode takes some inspiration from Brainiac's first comic appearance in Action Comics number 242 from summer 1958. In that issue, Brainiac miniaturizes cities from other worlds, including Krypton, and stole them.
He just puts them in their pocket.
Yeah, he puts them in little like like glass
Ziploc
canisters.
bags.
Yeah.
Mason jars.
Mason jars.
He's a millennial.
He just like puts some little plant or some shrubs in there. He makes it look all nice. Superman defeated him and saved the Kryptonian bottled city of Kandor and took it back to his Fortress of Solitude. In this episode, Brainiac stole data and information. Superman defeats him, takes the Krypton memory module back to what would become his fortress. I never made that connection. Like I've known that it's a silly but famous-ish element of Superman mythos is, Brainiac stole a city from Krypton, because traditionally Brainiac is not from Krypton, he's just from some other planet, but they had changed that for the DCAU to make him more relatably evil. I don't know, but so he stole a city from Krypton before it exploded, and then keeps
that's just not relatable.
Miniaturized in a tiny jar. And it's the stupidest thing I've like. I hate whenever it tries to get passed off in like a serious iteration of Superman. Not that this is like the most serious Superman, but I'm glad that they did like more. I don't want to say believable, but like a more emotionally charged like cool thing about the.
So wait,
there's still part of Krypton. I don't know.
So Superman has a real life miniature city in his wank cave,
right? So he's supposed, like in the comics, he takes the city and then he's like, "Don't worry, citizens, I will figure out someday how to make you big again." And then he like never does, as far as I understand.
The citizens survived this process.
There's people in there, yeah.
So he's keeping an entire city's population captive.
Well, it's the idea is that he'll save them someday. But yeah, no, I don't like this either, Brian. Be clear here.
Is he also in the Arctic in that version? Like, are these people all going to freeze to death?
Hopefully, yeah.
Huh. And they can't like collect firewood from outside the city walls because the outside the city walls is just the Arctic now.
And then the polar bear eats them.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, I asked Dan if he had any ideas for trivia for this episode because I was light on trivia.
Yeah,
and he said, "Oh, the orb thing was our way to maintain the concept of a bottled city of Kandor without actually making it tiny survivors." And I'm like, okay, that is a way cooler version of that.
Yeah,
it's like, but yeah, the whole thing. I don't know. It's just very silly. And he was telling me how there was like a mandate from Warner Brothers or whatever or maybe from DC that Superman like must be like the survivor of the planet. So like, or the only Kryptonian at least. I guess Brainiac doesn't count for whatever reason, but so like having a whole jar full of people would be like antithesis of like he doesn't feel as alone in the universe or whatever. It's like as soon as he figures it out, and he never will. I don't know.
I mean, couldn't you have Brainiac just be like, there can be no survivors and just go after Superman?
Yeah, I don't know. And that is another question about this episode is why is Brainiac here now? Because if he didn't, does he know that Superman is on the planet? Because it doesn't seem like he knows. It seems like Luthor tells him that. And then instead of him, he has to coyly, oh, interesting. I wasn't aware of a Superman. Like,
that's
I don't know.
Really good point. Also, like, how would Brainiac, like, would he be smart enough or privy enough to whatever? I guess Luthor gave him the CD of information of Earth. But like, yeah, what would tip Brainiac off to be that like
floppy disks? No.
Sorry, I've only got Betamax on board.
Yeah, he takes his face off, and there's just a laser disc player in there or whatever.
Have you seen On Her Majesty's Secret Service? It's fantastic.
It sure is.
Oh, this has been a fun episode to rip to shreds, Jamie.
Yeah, I don't get. Why? So if I obviously the reason is because they need to bring Brainiac into the show, but I would, if I was Brainiac and I knew Superman was there or found out that Superman was there, I would
blow up the planet.
Well, I would either do that or I would go there last. Like I'm going to go to every other planet first, do what I need to do that I know Superman's not going to like, and then, but I guess it's because he says like, oh, but okay. I'm trying to wrap my head around this because on one hand, Brainiac says, "Oh, Superman, look at all my balls. Touch them and see all the cool stuff." And I'm totally not hiding from you the fact that I also blew up all those planets. Like he's keeping that information. He's only showing the good stuff. He's pretending to be a good thing.
Yeah.
But then he also says, like, Superman, you should totally be on my side, Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker. You should join me in destroying the universe. So what is his, like, MO here? What's his game?
That's a really good point, because I just kind of took the Superman join my team. Look, I got you a matching shirt. We're gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like that.
It says smooth on it.
I feel like that must have just been like a lie or something. Like he must not have meant that, or he wouldn't have attacked. I mean,
So
was he sincere? Was he sincere with the whole robot thing of like, I just want to see how strong you are?
Yeah.
Also,
or was
do
he
you
trying
wanna-
to kill him?
I don't know. And also, he didn't need Superman to take over and kill. He's killed like presumably hundreds, if not thousands, of planets. He doesn't need Superman to help him in his job. What the fuck is he doing?
So
I
it's
am so confused the more I think about this.
It's whether or not he came there knowing Superman was there and was trying like 50 different ways to get Superman to like be tricked so that it would be fine, or he didn't know Superman was there and found out and went, "Oh fuck, I got to figure out a way to trick this guy." But either way, he just looks stupid. Like he should know what to do, or I don't know. Anyway, this is taking way too long to discuss. But why did Superman know which ball to grab when he flew through there? They all look exactly the same.
That
Did he check when he got to the polar bear? Hold on to this. Oh, damn it. This is like cat people or something.
he was like flying up at the speed of a bullet, just going boop, 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 boop,
Yeah,
and
he's
poking all the balls
trying
next
each
to
one.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all popping like balloons. Yeah. That's why they were popping, not because of the fire. It was because Superman was flying, trying each one of them so fast we couldn't even see him. Yeah.
Damn it, Superman. You're out of control.
I got two things left in the tribs that I think you'll find kind of funny.
Go.
The first, the truck in the beginning, with all the people standing in it.
Yes.
Is patterned after the Batmobile from Batman the Animated Series.
I thought it looked more like the paddy wagon from BTS.
Oh, yeah, the SWAT, hut. Those
Yes.
guys. Yeah. It does look like, but yeah, the front of it's got the same like grill and windshield and stuff like that, and it's black.
Oh, cool.
And lastly, Brainiac's hover chair was designed to be as toyetic as possible, meaning it could be easily adapted into a toy for tie-in merchandise with the show. There was indeed a Brainiac action figure released by Kenner in 1996, Evil Alien Brainiac, with the chair included as an accessory. And as the chair is otherwise unnamed within the actual on-screen DCAU, its official name, unless otherwise overwritten, would be that of the toy version, the Blasting Space Sled.
What?
I like that a lot. Yeah.
The blasting space sled? Who named it that?
I do want to know. Kenner, probably, I guess. I don't know. Mr. Kenner himself, yeah.
Blasting space sled.
Blasting space sled. Keen effects in this episode.
Just that one shot
Just
where
that one shot. Yep.
the rotating
That's all
stuff.
I was gonna say too. There was a cool-ish shot of Superman X-ray visioning Brainiac, but it lasted way too short.
Oh, it was like
just
one
over
or two
immediately.
frames. Just
Yeah.
like whamp. Oh, he's a
so
robot
you're
in
a
there.
computer. Okay, enough of that. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
It could have been cool, but they didn't linger on it. I guess that's the end of that. So, okay, Superman's powers.
Yeah.
Did you want it? What did you call it? Just laser punch or something? I don't know. No.
Yeah. Sure.
Light punching.
I like light punching.
Okay, because it's misleading. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that should I list if there's a new power? Should I list the current powers? Because they're not always going to have a new power.
Sure.
Okay. So far we got Ultra Crush, Selective Dog Listening, Pervo Vision, Hedgehog and Dreidel powers, the Hot Look, Hard Skin, Airbending, Superman's Bifocal Spectacular, Garlic Breath, and Light Punching. As well as weaknesses, To Be Jellyfished, Proscenophobia, and the Big Suck.
Yeah.
So he's collecting a few. Yeah.
So now he had a weakness in this one.
Oh, what's that?
Yellow.
Oh, yeah, microwave hand. Brainiac's microwave hand, yeah. All right. It really was just cooking him or something.
I don't know, man. It couldn't have been that serious because he just took it for about 45 seconds and then said, okay, I'm good.
This is mildly uncomfortable.
Like, I expected it to be green. But I kept the whole time it was going on because like kryptonite, and the whole time I was like yellow, like the sun, but doesn't he get strong
Brainiac's
from the
smiling
sun?
like he's doing such a sneaky move. Like, you're just like you're your father's son, Kal-El, easily microwavable, and oh no,
just poke a couple holes in the plastic at the top and microwave for 3 minutes.
Yeah, you didn't remove the plastic seal, just like your father, idiot. Books or hip hop this episode?
Car
manual.
This is this is a manual for a 1989 Honda Civic.
There you go. The baldness hierarchy.
He's bald, I'm bald, we're all bald. But who's the baddest bald of all? It's James and Brian's final call. The Balderarchy.
So good.
I like that all the songs have ding and burp, like they end with some little thing. We got Lex Luthor and Brainiac, I'd say. Or do we count his Brainiac triangle robots?
Nah, I'll say Brainiac because Lex Luthor kind of had the like, well, I'm accidentally being a not bad guy at the end.
Well, okay, so you're taking him off the list of bad guys?
I'm just saying that he's not as bad.
That's not what it's not the bad hierarchy.
Oh, you're right.
Who's most bald?
You're right. Wow. I don't know why I did that in my head of like, who's the most like...
Who's the baddest bad of bad?
My bad. My bald.
Well, but I get what you're saying, though. I agree it's Brainiac because he doesn't have the capacity to grow hair, I don't think.
There we go. That's what I meant. You can just erase that whole other me being an idiot
I won't.
thing. Sweet. Can I blame it on a headache?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. It's because you're hungry.
Yeah.
Your rice cooker's unclean. It gives you a headache.
Or because like this is the first water I drank all day. I'm trying to put in some...
Don't do that.
I was an idiot.
What the hell was the name of this episode? Stolen Memories. Brainiac. Okie dokie. And last we got top 10 placements.
Hell
Putting
no.
this on the top. Well, you gotta.
No.
Yeah, you gotta.
I know.
Although I'm putting it at the bottom.
I'm also putting it at the bottom.
Steal my memories. Which was your joke, and I spelled memories wrong. There we go. Maggeries?
Yeah, I don't know, man. You got to pronounce it.
I thought you were trying to spell margarine or something. Stealing margarine.
Stealing Magories.
MacGruber. Okay, we're going to do the mail, and then I will tell Brian what had the name of the next episode. You know how it goes.
That yacht had one small extra yacht. Put it over.
We
drop what we drop.
Our weekly yachts.
Oh yeah, those.
Into the comment box.
First,
There sure was a lot.
now Jamie's mad.
Too bad we're all
We're
just Dylan Pollock.
Thank you, Kimmy.
That one doesn't end with a ding
Brr.
or a fart or anything.
That's fine. It doesn't have to. If you want to reach out to us like the fire hand at the end of the Cat in the Claw Part 2, you can send an email or 60-second voice message to batwagonpod@gmail.com or leave a comment. How do I speak? On today's episode on the Podtower YouTube channel. But please do not spoil anything past this episode for Brian. Got it?
Yeah, you only spoil past stuff.
Only spoil things we've already seen. First, we have 2 new reviews on Apple Podcasts.
Wow, that's 2.
The first one comes from Mojo Moo Cow. Goated with the nay sauce. The most base and skibbity toilet riz pilled DC podcast continues to be a certified hood classic. Thank you so much.
Wait, is that my housemate Cooper? Who
I don't
wrote
know.
that?
Someone with all the slang. And this one comes from Mace Window Bald Batty. They dared me to do this in the 23 seconds it takes to do the mail time jingle. Did it. Technically, they said on Spotify, but I don't listen on Spotify and I wanted a challenge. Thank you so much.
Well done. Thank you.
You can rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and it'll show up in my email and we can read it on the show, okay?
Nice. Let's do.
Okay. Let's do. This is from Eric LeBeau. Hey, J. Jamia Jameson and Bionic Brother Brian. Wanted to wait for when you guys came back to send this out, even at the risk of being late, but on to Metallica's outing in STAS. It was great listening to famous actor Malcolm McDowell, famous for his role in Home Alone, The Holiday Heist, obviously. I mean, what else would he be known for? On to Stolen Memories, that's all you have to say. Or Chrome Dome 2, this time without Malcolm McDowell. First off, how did Lex not see Jimmy point a camera when it showed him walking directly toward them through the lens?
That was a weird... Yeah.
That was, yeah. You were like, take the picture? Because he's just standing there. And then Lois later, like, Jimmy, take a fucking picture, you idiot.
There's a lot of that going on in this episode.
Yeah. This version of Brainiac in particular always makes me long for the day we get to see him in a live-action film, considering he's almost, if not equally, iconic to Lex. Still, I'd rather wait than get the beady-eyed, spider-looking nightmare we could have gotten. Pretty good episode, though. I give it 3.8 impossibly large keys out of 5. Was that when they're turning for the blowy uppies? Because I didn't notice it being big, but maybe that's what it was. Neither of our brains worked today. Glad you guys liked the Balderarchy theme. Yes, of course we do. I love how it turned out. Everyone did a great job on it. It was honestly a big highlight in what was a pretty rough week. Really looking forward to the next episode because it features one of my favorite Superman characters. Hope the COVID night is fully out of Brian's system by the time the next episode is up. Also odd that Superman came back the same time he did. Probably just a coincidence. Keep calm.
Don't worry about it.
On.
Don't worry about it.
Dylan Pollock, I lost all my thoughts. Aw, geez, I can't remember nothing no more.
It's time for the Thoughts of the Week from Dylan Pollock on Stolen Memories, or the Balderarchy of villainy in the Bat-Wagon universe is about to change. I like Brainiac's introduction. I don't feel like there's too much to say about this episode. It's good, but I got a couple quick thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I like how Lex at one point just says, yeah, I'm going to get in this random alien chair that came out of the spaceship. No problem.
Oh,
He
right.
just acts like that's a fine and normal thing to do. I also like how Clark gets a brief clip show of The Last Son of Krypton Part 1. It doesn't make any sense at all that he gets that, but it's cool. Also, I like the line from Brainiac, the fewer beings who have the knowledge, the more precious it is. I just picture Brainiac now as this messy, dramatic bitch who likes to keep secrets. All right, and now it's time for the question of the week. James' favorite part. Obviously, Superman has kryptonite. But if there's going to be a simple weakness for this Superman villain for Brainiac, what would it be? And why do I feel like it's just going to be like computer viruses? Like it'd be like there are sexy singles in your area, Kal-El. What do you think?
Yeah, you turn him off and back on again. I don't know.
The Y2K bug.
Yeah. He chose the wrong time to come to Earth. It's just, oh, my circuits were not ready for 4 digits. 99,000. What is happening? This is from Jacob Alvarado. Hello, Judicial System James and Brain Lobotomy Brian.
Oh.
First off, I'm sorry for missing last week. Adult life be wild sometimes. You feel? I do feel.
Yeah, I feel.
This episode, Lex gets probed by Brain Maniac, probably, and definitely commits war crimes against the whole damn planet. I've always enjoyed Brainiac growing up. I didn't like Soups, but as an adult, I've warmed up to him. But Brainiac, Metallo, and Parasite were always some of my favorite DC Comics villains in general, so the build-up to Brainiac this season has been coolio. Lastly, aliens be probing. Have a great and yappy week, everyone. They sure do be doing that.
They do. They're known for it.
Daniel Barnhart, Stolen Memories. This episode reminded me of a Star Trek episode. Clark was playing the role of Captain Kirk exploring the galaxy in his starship when he met Brainiac, a mysterious connection to his past. It really played with the idea of generational trauma in a fun and interesting way, especially when Clark was dreaming about the destruction of Krypton after he got the memories implanted from Brainiac. Superman would be a great captain for Starfleet. Those are my thoughts. Sincerely, Daniel Barnhart. Thank you. I like that when he's having the dream and he looks down. Huh? I'm floating. Like, what's going on?
I've never flown before.
Yeah, this doesn't happen to me every day. Ryan Hipp, Stolen Member Berries.
Yo.
Let me be the first and only person to point out the upside-down Batmobile. I'm coming to you this week from Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios Florida. This is what it sounds like. What I would have enjoyed is if that first scene played out like the end of Close Encounters, where the scientists are just filled with wonder and enchantment, and then Brainiac comes out and like brutally murders everyone for 5 minutes, and then the rest of the episode is just Clark at the Daily Planet, like making copies. He has some headphones on, he's dancing around the office. Did anyone else think that the moment when Lex took out his little Roku remote and made the general levitate felt like something out of The Simpsons? Like the line delivery and the animation had like perfect comedy timing?
Yes.
I also noticed this time around some parallels between the episode and Man of Steel, like similarities between Zod and Brainiac, and also a polar bear is in both. It's not the last time there'll be some similarities between the show and the Henry Cavill movies. Like, they both basically approach Superman the same way, especially a later episode. Later. James, you see what I'm getting at?
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go ride Men in Black now. There's a helicopter. Okay, bye.
I was just going to say, like, are you being picked up by LexCorp in the middle of this?
I love the chaos in those.
Yeah, I know. It just doesn't matter where they're at. Just open up the app, send a voice message.
Love it.
Carly Barrett, I hate this man. Hi, James and Brian Cox 38. Hey, that's a reference to the new Watchtower database video. I think.
Fuck.
The only thing I'll add besides the audio is that Superman also apparently keeps his glasses in his cape pocket, which just seems like a poor choice. Okay, bye. Here's a voice message.
I feel like I have to talk about Brainiac and the DCAU because he like stresses me the fuck out because his whole thing is that he's an AI who destroyed a planet through a campaign of disinformation, and I can't take it. It's too real. It's like life has imitated art. Oh no. Also, when he meets Superman on the spaceship and he calls him Kal-El, rude. If I don't know you, don't call me by my birth name. What are you doing? I didn't give you permission to do that. It's pretty personal. Anyway, Brainiac's a little fucker.
He really is, yeah. For various reasons. Agreed.
Yeah, I get it. There's some things are just too real.
Chanda Hulk, stolen memories, aka balling, aka balling, but at what cost?
Oh man, sure do love being a memory orb. Sucks that my planet died, but whatever. Oh shit, ship's exploding. Save me, S-chest guy! Oh, he just took the Krypton orb and left. Well, guess I'll die. Down to Earth now, where we can carbon date things. The GameCube came out in North America literally 100 days after I was born. Overall, this episode was good. I liked how, if not intentionally, the lighting of the flashback made Superman look like he was in the 60s style a bit. Speaking of 60s Superman, the way he punched the laser has got to be a callback to that cartoon. If you know, you know. If you don't, search up Superman punching laser GIF. Yes, I call it GIF. You cannot stop me.
I'm right there with you.
Scotty Cameron, Brainiac returns. Hey, Yoppie dudes, aren't you glad that a week after Superman fights a duplicate with a kryptonite heart, he fights Hardak from Krypton, who gives himself a duplicate body? I'm just messing around, though. I like how back-to-back episodes with returning villains from Last Son of Krypton, first Corbin Metallo and now Brainiac. I like the design given to Brainiac's Coluan body. Coluans are the alien race Brainiac is from, like that. Steve put it in your coffee.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. And he's one of their AI forms in the first of over 13 Brainiacs. I do like that Jamie took the time to speak about Spiral on the podcast episode that dropped the day Saw X premiered in theaters. I'm looking forward to seeing it when I get a chance. Yeah, Joe and I are talking about going to go see it.
I was gonna say, I'm surprised you haven't been yet.
No, and it's probably because Joe, his schedule is terrible, as the listener knows.
Yeah,
as he was not here in the most recent Rachel Ghoul episode. We have been texting, though, to try to get him on again soonish for a non-Rachel Ghoul episode because he just wants to come back because he liked being here.
Oh.
For things. It was fun. Anyway, stay Yoppie, Scotty. I skipped the last bit because it's Saw stuff, and it's Saw stuff. Jordan Newman, Stolen Memories. Eagle-eared listeners will hear me forget how to say the word orchestral at the end. Do eagles have good hearing? They gotta, right?
You're listening to the Gotham Insider, reporting live from Metropolis. I'm Jack Ryder, and I've got some good news for you, folks. Ooh. I've been to some therapy, and I think I've finally come to terms with our flying alien friend, Superman, so now we can get back to doing what I love, reading the news. Let's check tonight's top story. An alien robot wants to destroy the world with his giant spaceship. Excuse me for a moment, folks. Sorry about that, folks. Now I'm back to reading the news, and it looks like Superman's got this all mopped up, so just another normal day in Metropolis, am I right? Now over to the music. I really like the Brainiac texture. It's weird and not orchestric, and I thought it was pretty cool. Never apologize for loving fandom and try to stay optimistic.
Orchestric, there it is.
Just roll with it. I like orchestric music.
I like orchestric musel. Metamusel. Keen Machine. Greetings,
Hey.
James and Brian.
Hey.
You know, hearing the title Stolen Memories makes me wonder if the episode was going to be about me. Like that time I was supposed to peak in high school by being crowned homecoming king, but then Market Theo Liebenschruger won instead, a classic case of voter fraud.
What?
Or
I don't
or
believe
that one
that for a minute.
Or that other time the Make-A-Wish Foundation rejected my application for a dream vacation because I wasn't sick enough. And don't even get me started on the Danimals Zach and Cody sweepstakes. Jesus. Honestly, I think my tragedies of stolen potential memories are much worse than what happens here, but I guess Superman is allowed to feel bad about discovering his homeworld was destroyed by an egotistical AI originally designed to protect his species. Still, I mean, if I can handle living through it, he can handle the history lesson. Well, I think that's all I've got for today. Gonna go ponder on all the other memories I don't have because I wasn't allowed to join the French Foreign Legion as a child. Keep it keen, King Machine. Yep, all those things happen to you for sure.
Definitely.
Fiacra Horgan. Hey, James and Brian.
Hey.
I hope you Yoppie dudes are doing well and that Brian's feeling better after his quote-unquote 2 weeks of COVID. First of all, like with most characters in the DCAU, Metallo's design is dope. Two-Face mixed with the Terminator is a cool look. I realized listening back, we both had like a visceral reaction to the scene of him like tearing his face off in the mirror, and we just didn't talk about it at all.
Oh, did we not?
Dylan brought it up in his voice message, but we went like, you can hear you in the background go like, oh yeah, and that's it. That's the entire commentary. But that's about right. Yeah. Once again, I love how devious Lex is. The way he poisons and manipulates Corbin is so messed up. I fully expected Corbin to say to the doctor, I can't be dying. I'm young. I exercise. I use supplements. I take ivermectin and listen to Jordan Peterson. There's no way I'm living my life wrong. That last shot of Metallo walking on the ocean floor, illuminated by the kryptonite, is so damn cool. I'm really enjoying this rewatch of the show. It's a lot better than I remember. I'm heading back to college this week to start my master's in film and screen media. Ooh.
Hell yeah.
Watching STAS every week is now considered academic research. So I may not be able to write in as much as I have recently, but I'll still be listening. That sounded creepier than I wanted it to. And I'll try to send in some Yoppie Mail whenever I get the chance. Hope you guys and all the awesome listeners have a great week. Till next time, stay yippee. Damn autocorrect. Thanks, Fiacra. Good luck with all of that.
Best of
it's
luck.
tough, but worth it. Yeah. Yeah, I would agree that I think so far, like I've said before, I don't have bad memories of this show of it being bad, but I think so far I've been like, oh, another solid episode. So
yeah,
like, other than this one, I think that wasn't a bad episode. It's just the lowest so far, I think.
Yeah.
Tip Tapricot, both of you brace yourselves for awful audio. I am so sorry.
Oh, yes, that's what I'm here for.
All right, finally we are back for contemplations on stolen memories right as I'm heading into work because, oh my gosh, I'm late. So I'm back. Yay. After such a big break, it was cool to see you guys back, and I'm glad that you're both feeling better and that James has gotten the new video out because it was really good. It was a really good video. And I liked hearing about niche internet history that I was not alive for. Woo, yay.
Yep.
I love Lost Media. It's great. So, stolen memories. Speaking of Lost Media from a whole bunch of fucking planets. That's great. I like how this introduces Brainiac as a formidable threat and also sort of continues to tie together past tidbits of information and getting to have Clark actually understand what happened to his planet, as well as a fun little team up between him and Lex that I think is always an interesting dynamic to see when like villains and heroes have to work together.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it kind of sucks that when Superman flies away, he only saves Krypton, so fuck all of those other cultures that are now completely dead. Anyways, bye-bye. See you next time.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye. He couldn't have done anything theoretically, but it does feel like this doesn't matter, only Krypton. Goodbye.
Yeah, I feel like I expected him to like have a cape full of them.
Yeah.
But then it was just like, just this one. I was like, oh my God.
They could have done that. Like, it's a cartoon. You could have allowed him to save all of them. You chose that he only saved Krypton. I don't know. I think I guess it's more like poignant for him as a character that like, oh, you know, of all these hundreds of planets or whatever, Krypton's the only one that I got all the stuff, the hard drive for still. But I don't know.
I mean, I get it. I would do the same thing if I was in his shoes. Like I'd be focused on mine, but it does seem like it would be more of a valiant thing to save more, but
it's a super thing.
I guess it also doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
There's nobody left from these planets.
I mean, it feels weird to say, but yeah, like if Brainiac wasn't downloading all this shit and just destroying them, they would just be gone. They'd already be gone. And nobody but him had that thing. So now still nobody but him had that thing. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's a parallel with like, I wasn't going to tell you this. I didn't want to scare you, but the hard drive that all the Vireality footage on was failing recently. I told you about the Watchtower database one, but it turned out to also be the Vireality one.
Shit.
And I bought 2 new giant hard drives, brand new, crisp, pristine, beautiful.
Yeah.
It's now backed up twice on there, so there are 3 copies of all the footage. It's all fine, and I've replaced the degraded ones and all this stuff. Everything is settled. But there was a second there that like it would be like a situation of like, oh, but nobody's seen the movie, so it doesn't matter if it all got deleted because it was all gone anyway.
I would
then
literally,
Brian would murder me.
I would. I'm like looking around trying to see what the most pain-inducing implement I have near me is.
What could I be killed with? Yeah,
yeah, a lot of stuff. It turns out.
No, I would let you. I think. Anyway, this is comments on episode 91, The Way of All Flesh. Or give her the uranium pump. Ashley Tutchin. I'm glad to see you Yoppie dudes have made it back from the Phantom Zone. I was starting to worry. Wait, is that a spoiler? I can't remember. Metallo is another villain that I love. All thanks to this show. I've been desperately waiting for him to appear in a live-action movie, so let's hope James Gunn will make my dream come true. Just as long as I get an actor of an appropriate height to play him. Otherwise, he'd be Miss Shorto.
Classic Australian humor.
I love that Brian made a Full Metal Alchemist reference. The original series is still my favorite anime, and I literally just finished giving it a 20th anniversary rewatch the other week. 20 years! Jesus Christ.
God.
What Full Metal Alchemist reference did you make?
I don't remember.
We should have. He's a full metal guy. I don't know. Yeah, he tried to bring back his mom, and all of his limbs came off, including his brain and heart and everything. Charles Motosierra, regarding stolen memories. Hang on, I'm going to skip a big chunk of this.
Okay. When a spoiler comes along, you must skip it.
Updating the how to easily defeat villains list, we have Brainiac. Punch him hard and have other people blow up his stuff. Anyway, how funny would it be if Clark forgot where he put his Fortress of Solitude? I mean, I guess Pervo Vision helps. Yeah, looks around for... polar bear with orb in stomach. Evil Banana Man, not okay.
Yep.
And Banana Boy, okay.
Okay, well, at least, okay.
I think I cancel each other out. We should be taking a tally, a score. LexCorp cares. Hi, Brain and Jack.
Hello.
I'll admit I'm a little let down by your coverage of these events. While Mr. Corbin's treatment wasn't perfect, LexCorp's Metallica bonding process did save Mr. Corbin from the agony of smell, a luxury the rest of us can only wish for. Mr. Corbin's response to this gift was disappointment to all of us on the LexCorp team, especially knowing that Mr. Luthor was willing to part with his favorite rock just to save Mr. Corbin. I'm happy, however, to hear you talking about Superman's irresponsible behavior. This is the kind of A+ content that we love to see from you. Love, LexCorp.
Well, you're going to love this episode.
Yeah. Nick Sorensen, glad to see the podcast is back. Brian's doing well.
Yeah.
After being introduced in Last Son of Krypton, didn't take long for us to see John Corbin make his official transformation into Metallo, another one of my all-time favorite villains in Superman's Rogues Gallery, with a terrific performance by Malcolm McDowell. My question for James and Brian, if you were put into a body like Metallo's, would you be able to live with it if it meant you could live forever and never have to worry about COVID? Or do you think it would eventually just drive you mad the way it did for Corbin?
I wouldn't make it a week.
Yeah, no. I can't fuck these roses like I always do.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it would be cool for a little bit, But when he's first trying out the body, he's like shirtless in the weight room or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, I just realized I haven't eaten anything. I haven't felt like I needed to or whatever."
Great.
No, really? What? I was gonna say that's the thing that would hold me back is I love eating.
You know what? I love eating, but I loathe the fact that I have to eat not only daily, but like multiple times a day.
Yeah.
That is such. Oh my God.
You want to get shit done. Yeah, I get it.
I just don't want to. Yeah.
You just got to skip breakfast like me, and then sometimes also skip lunch like me, and then just eat a ton at night.
Yeah.
That's how you maintain the perfect body like myself. The James diet.
I went to see Queens of the Stone Age with listener Robert Sterling. The other day.
Sterling.
And there's this band called the Viagra Boys, which I had never heard of. And let me tell you, I've been to some comedy shows, but I don't think I've ever laughed harder than I did at watching the Viagra Boys do this rock show. The lead singer, though, came out in these like Adidas track pants and kind of like beer gut and like no shirt, like hanging over the edge. And there's a bit where he's like talking about being like, beautiful, and he's not just a man or whatever, and he's like going on this like big long tirade about like he will not be defined by the band's name and all this stuff. And then he goes and does like 6 push-ups kind of slowly and then lays on the stage for about 3 minutes. And
I'm sure that was part of the bit.
Yeah. Oh, I think it was, but it was just this very like, I don't know, like that. So he was like on the floor trying to give himself a pep talk to get back up off the ground, and it was just that. Like, here's a little bit, and Jamie, you'll like this too. For anybody interested, go look up the Viagra Boys song "Ain't Nice." Like, go look up the music video.
Okay.
Like, that had me laughing just about as hard as I was at the concert.
You know what this reminds me of, actually, is the one email that I didn't read because I was going to save it for the end.
Oh, yeah.
And it is a review on Apple Podcasts for fellow Podtower podcasters, the DCAU review.
Oh.
They recently shared this on their social media as a positive reflection on their podcast, but it was hilarious to me, and I would like to read it to you.
Okay.
Been listening to Cal and Liam for a few years now. Other DCAU podcasts have faded or failed, but they are still going strong. It speaks to their commitment, but I also think it speaks to the format. They specifically highlight elements of the episodes which are often given passing mentions in other podcast reviews, and that makes them stand out as a podcast trying to celebrate all aspects of the creative team. And I want to give special attention to how they consistently maintain focus in the episode topics, where other podcasts often wander into tedious tangents about nothing. Great work all around, guys. And then I replied, who could that be?
I don't know.
Viagra Boys. So there you go. Got a couple more comments.
Yeah.
Banana Baby says, Goo Goo Gaga translation, where's my dad? Why is my uncle here? Is everything okay?
What the fuck?
Scrudge, I think if I were Brainiac,
Scrudge.
I would have created fake orbs to present Superman. Orbs that contain some knowledge, but that cut out all the scenes of me destroying stuff.
I had
you gotta
that
be careful
same
if you're going to let people go around touching your orbs. Yeah. Mark Aquino, first, last. Stolen Memories, or This Is Why We Can't Trust AI, or Go Gadget Metal Hentai Fingers. So in this episode, Jimmy Olsen finds out that Lex Luthor, in his not-so-subtle evil nature, is calling for a citywide ban on Jimmy's favorite Christmas-time treat that his German grandmother used to make every year, sweet, sweet stolen bread. FYI, it's actually pronounced Stollen. As the episode goes on, we realize that the Stollen bread is a metaphor for the sweetness and simplicity of childhood innocence, as well as the fragility of the human mind, and how Jimmy wants to preserve... Oh, wait, I'm getting this confused with my pitch to DC and James Gunn for an A24-esque Jimmy Olsen solo movie. Gotta get in on that Joker money, baby.
Yo, I would see that.
Yeah, with the stolen bread. Anyway, this is a solid, proper intro to Brainiac. Corey Burton's performance is suitably cold and unsettling, pairing with the cybernetic creepiness of how Brainiac can alter his physical appearance to extend his arms and pointy fingers, like a creepy Inspector Gadget. Touch your legacy, Kal-El. You know you want to. Bow chicka wow wow. Sorry, someone had to make that joke. This also reminds me of a triv that I forgot again, is that, you know, like bullies calling dweebs brainiacs as like a insult, bully insult. that actually comes from this character, not the other way around.
What?
Like this character came into existence and then that was used as an insult. And it's just been like sludged into the zeitgeist subconscious so much that nobody remembers that that's where it came from.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay.
Boss Biggest Bear Hugs is the #1 podcast host, and this is your multiverse of ours, Jeremiah Johnson and Ballyhoo. Praise to our Lord and Savior Dylan Pollock. Keep up the great work on your own podcast. Remember to tell Gab that she rules. Likewise, all his loyal disciples, all the names. You're the absolute best. Don't forget that. Next week's episode is a big favorite of mine. It's one that I'm definitely curious to hear Brian's thoughts on, and that's all I'll say. In that, as I type this comment this weekend, I'm meeting up with my friends for an emo dance party on Saturday night. I saw pictures of that on your social medias. They looked fun.
What?
Held at a repurposed sailing ship. The best part, my friend group and I are all dressing up as pirates. Is this important information for you all to know? Yes, it is. My friends and I are going to be pirates this weekend. Try to top that. Anywho, until next week, big ol' whoosh, I just flew away. The next episode, Brian, it's called The Main Man, Part 1.
It's about a man from Maine.
Yes.
Stephen King. It's about Stephen King.
Is he from Maine?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
He used to be my almost neighbor. Did I tell you that?
What? No.
Yeah. He lives...
Tell me now.
He lives in Bangor.
Don't stay focused on the topic. Tell me about this.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
He lives in Bangor, Maine, and I used to live in Bangor, Maine, and you can like type in on Google Maps like Stephen King house and it pops up. And then if you...
It pops up?
Stephen King reference, Jamie!
Stephen King, the clown.
But yeah, so if you're like looking at that in Google Maps or Apple or whatever, then type in, what was it, like 38 Cottage Street or something. And my house is like a half a mile away from his... Oh. Whatever it was, something on Cottage Street.
Did you know that at the time?
Oh yeah, I used to like walk people by and be like, "There's his house," and there's like gargoyles and like spider web kind of style wrought iron on his gate, and it's a very old like kind of creepy. It's a cool looking house.
Did you say don't go in there? I tried one time and he was just zonked on cocaine, and it was not a good idea.
People in Bangor are actually really protective about him, and so like him and his son, who when I was living there also still lived there, like people would just be like give a quick wave or whatever, but like no one would be like, oh my God, Stephen King. And like if somebody did that to him, apparently residents would like wedge themselves in between and be like, no, you need to get the hell out of here.
Interesting. Huh.
That's a very Bangor kind of way. Like that's it was such a landlocked place to live. Like it's not an island, but it felt like an island. It felt like you're in the middle of nowhere and probably 40 years ago, but it was cool.
That sounds like the perfect place for Stephen King to live.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, that's the episode of this podcast.
Without a single tangent.
Nope. Goodbye.
Bye, listener. Thank you.
See you for the Stephen King episode.
Stephen King episode in 1 week.
It'll be. Oh my God.
It'll take years to rebuild these systems.
You have 2 weeks.
Oh, and we also found this strange bit of alien code.
Later. I've had my fill of aliens for 1 day.
There. That should be safe from any curious visitors. Keep an eye on that, will you? I'll be back. I knew this place had possibilities.
Jump on the Bat-Wagon is hosted by the Watchtower database. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for DC Animated Universe videos on a regular basis. This podcast is edited and produced by yours truly, James Strecker. Musical themes by Kimmy, Cooney Phoenix, Viltsu, Eric LeBeau, Jordan Blumen, my mother, and of course, my smooth co-host, Brian, Brother Broderick Meneely. To buy us a Yoppie beverage and hear your name read in a future episode, or to nab yourself a Yoppie Dude t-shirt, please visit the links in today's show notes. Thank you for supporting the show. You can hear more on today's DCAU episode by checking out our friends over on the DCAU Review and Timm Talk podcasts. Please leave us a 5-star review on your app of choice. You'll damn well hear it read on the show. If you'd like to reach out to us like the fire hand at the end of The Cat and the Claw Part 2, you can email batwagonpod@gmail.com or leave a comment on the Podtower. New episodes of Jump on the Bat-Wagon are released Fridays on all your favorite podcast feeds and watchtowerdatabase.com. And we'll see you next episode, same pee-pee time, same poo-poo channel.
stupid.